It's recording on YouTube. This is what happens when you're away for 4 weeks. Everything breaks.
Yeah.
Everything.
When we get a write down dropped on our location.
Although, while they're sorting that out, in good news, I'm now speaking to you from my new computer that actually works.
Fantastic.
What was the problem with your old one again?
Never worked it out. Like, I had people come in and try and test it, and they couldn't crack it. But after the second time where it started randomly closing down while only having a YouTube video and Discord open, I realized it was getting worse to the point
What
where it was
graphics
becoming
card did you have
functional.
in it?
That's an excellent question. I don't have an answer for you, but it's an excellent question.
I mean, fair enough. I was going to ask if I could bum it off you.
The simple answer is I don't actually know whether or not that was the problem. Like, right now, it's currently sitting under some protective sheeting until I can get the old hard drive data onto this one. After that, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm no longer connecting.
Oh, god damn it. No! We were so close. We were within an inch of greatness.
Technical difficulties up.
Go. We have to kill a server in order to save it, I guess.
Right, try that.
I mean, if this takes much longer, we might call it.
We're up.
Try that.
3 o'clock.
Nothing in. Yeah, but at least we'll have working for next time.
Yeah, I can at least get the things going. Right, like that. We're just cursed. Life has cursed us.
This planet is cursed. We should leave. Hey, no more broken image JPEGs. And I'm here.
No.
Excellent.
No,
Okay,
Terran, remember, Gray's not playing the Academy. He's playing
more
Resistance.
no more broken JPEGs, you say. You still don't have a...
Oh, I'm trying to fix that.
I have a portrait on my side.
I don't want to
Sheriff,
say
you can see
anything
my
in case
portrait.
it
I can
breaks
see my portrait.
reactively.
Okay. Let's try take 50.
Oh, I see. The token artwork didn't get transferred, but
Yeah,
the character
that was
artwork did.
New.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
mean.
That's crazy.
That is weird,
What's
yeah.
happening here?
I don't know why that's doing that. It shouldn't be doing that.
Okay, YouTube. When you advertise games to me, I'm less interested in random.
There you go.
But something
have
that's
ads on
journey. Well, no, I have an ad blocker which technically plays them all very quickly, so I can catch snippets of them.
That's weird.
That's interesting life choices.
Not a good ad blocker.
Because the current ad blocker I'm used, YouTube is doing its level best to defeat it, and so they're having to do work.
I just use uBlock Origin. It works fine.
I just use FreeTube.
Yeah, no, they've broken uBlock at the moment.
It was working great 20 minutes ago.
Okay, but
Then again, I'm also from Canada and not using a Chrome-based web browser and under 13, so their powers are more limited because I'm wise in the ways of the Eldritch lore.
Anyway,
why am I wearing a red robe all of a sudden? How did this happen?
Are you changing up the toaster?
Oh,
Your character is actually wearing red.
I know. There's a reason for that.
I don't think that's wearing red. I think that's the blood on his tunic again.
No. That's clearly a red jacket.
All right. So, where we left off, you'd done a slight little bit of psyops, brainwashed a few people, taken over the global media. Nothing different than a normal day.
Yeah.
And it's actually been quiet for a bit. Your boss has been in the reading a lot of the stuff. He's not been turning it into your problem. Yeah, one of you got arrested, but they smoothed that over mostly.
Good.
Excellent. You're only wanted in 2 systems now.
Okay.
So,
I mean, in fairness, that could be worse.
It could always be worse. Right.
I would not believe how much worse things could be.
Yes, getting to that. A new light has appeared in the sky.
Not again.
Yeah.
God's sakes.
No.
Yes, that's the first one.
In the sky, not on the ground.
Not this guy.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. You'll recognise it as flare of an engine. You obviously are
Good
told.
orcs.
You're obviously told absolutely nothing until like the rest of the population get in on it.
That still feels very close to the ground for a ship engine.
It's probably orcs.
Well, no, orcs wouldn't use an engine. They'd just use gravity.
And then the news feed fills up with pictures. It is a huge spaceship. What's the class?
Oh, it's crude.
No.
A space Hulk?
A
Okay, good.
transport ship.
Oh.
What is the class again?
Okay. What, the Leviathan class or whatever it was? The massive troop transporter?
Yeah, the absolutely massive one. I'm Googling it.
Yes?
I didn't make a note of it. Very annoying for me.
I think that's right. But even... Yeah. Oh, no, wait, that's the bloody silly...
Are they
land
here to
tank,
pick up
isn't it?
conscripts for the Tithe? They're here to pick up conscripts for the Tithe, aren't they?
Yeah. What's it called? Where's it gone?
That.
Your cargo ship?
A Leviathan.
This is like a 12-kilometer one, long one.
Damn it, I am scoring Lexicon, and I can't remember myself.
It's you said it's a transport?
Yeah. A transport cargo ship.
And it might not be under Navy.
Gargolian. Is that the one?
The Universe, that's it. The Universe class Maz Conveyor. 12 kilometers long. That's the fella.
Yeah.
Yes, this is what
Because
happens when you
there is
call
a
Lexicon.
Stargalleon, but that's...
Picture. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking. I just dragged it in. No.
No, because that'd be easy and sensible. Also, wait. Those are yeah. Actually, come to think of it, that means that it almost certainly is the Tithe, because that's how you're going to move that many people.
Hey, Gray, how long does it take for the livery to be visible?
That's what we're talking about. A while. But for lack of panic from everyone else, you kind of assume it's supposed to be coming here.
That's a bold
Well,
assumption.
no, I was gonna see if like maybe it's the rogue trader bringing something in for some reason.
Oh, okay.
No.
Like I assume it's Imperial because we haven't been told to go shoot it down yet.
Guess what, guys? It's boarding mission time.
I'm no good at fighter pilot. Oh, good boarding mission. Well,
That's yeah. That's at least something that's a little more than universal
Damn, this thing's
will.
gonna accelerate at 5 Gs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are stupid.
it's not very fast.
But something that's 60 megatons has a 60,000 man crew with up to 500,000 passengers.
Let's hope you really tied down
12
that cargo properly.
It's
Yeah.
12 clicks long
Yeah.
and 1 1/3 a beam. So
Yep.
It's a wide boy. And it's coming into orbit.
Right.
God damn, we can see that shit from the ground and it's coming into orbit?
Yep.
It's a big boat.
Who said space Hulk?
In Imperial class? Imperial class? Emperor?
Universe.
Universe.
Yeah, the universe. It's
Oh,
not
boy.
a warship.
Not a warship, but it would probably take on several small warships on its own. It's Imperial. So, yeah. They're almost self-contained worlds, the thing says.
Yeah,
So,
right.
I mean, yeah,
It says that about half of the ships in the goddamn
Well,
book.
any
Yeah.
ship with a
It does,
population
but-
of over 500,000 is a self-contained world, though. That's not really, bragging.
exactly. I feel like when you've got nearly 500,000, cattle people and then 60,000 crew in a 12-kilometer box. I meant cattle car, sorry. 500,000 in the cattle car and then 60,000 crew in a 12-kilometer long box. I feel like, yeah, you've definitely got self-contained stops.
I mean, frigates have their own communities, you know?
Yeah. And they're
Mhm.
not as big as that something thing.
they're like villages or towns compared to this.
Yes.
I don't know how big like Greater London is, but
I mean, a sword class actually has about a third as much crew.
yeah. Because the thing is, once you get to that size, you don't need, because it's not like massive weapon banks. The amount of crew to actually run the ship is probably not that much more. Because it's just looking after slightly bigger things. The ability to keep all those people alive.
Yeah.
So yes,
That. Sorry, go ahead.
you finish your sentence.
I wasn't actually going anywhere with that in hindsight.
Okay. So the reports will start coming up. Of course, the local news are kind of wondering what's going on, what's being delivered, all that type of thing. And then Governor Howe will appear on the planetary newscast, bulletin on all channels, all times. Like, people of paradise. We have just learned that the planet of Helios Nova Novus under attack. As the closest planet, we have been tasked with the glorious deed of providing support. We will be immediately hiring 10% of all food on planet and beginning by recruiting 100,000 soldiers for the first glorious Paradise Regiment. These people will be sent off to Helios Novus to combat the Orcs and hold the line and the Imperium. We look forward to your cooperation in this matter, and recruitment stations will be opening within the next few days. We'll be moving quickly, and for the Emperor. And they just like,
I just want to get something clear here. The system is named New Sun.
Yes.
or Fresh New Hell.
Potato,
Okay,
potato.
that's better actually.
Okay.
Localization is important, folks.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, basically just Fresh New Hell, and I just Latined it a bit, mashed it up.
Great name for a star system that's
just-
being invaded by orcs.
You can just imagine the settlers landing. Like, what Fresh New Hell is this? I like that. Just make it more official.
And it's recorded.
Just make that higher gothic.
Wait, what do you mean that's a new planet name? No.
Some bureaucrat heard it and it's already
Anyway,
logged.
I imagine this isn't going down very well.
No, tithing 10% of the food. No, of course, it's a tithe. They don't get any money for it. There's immediate talking heads on the business channel looking at how this will ruin them. Blah, blah, blah.
My God, it won't affect the trout industry, will it?
Only
Well,
10%.
We're having this conversation at the board gaming club today that like they're talking about the fishermen in Britain being affected by the Brexit. And someone pointed out that Games Workshop has a higher contribution to GDP than the entire British fishing industry by a factor of about 10.
Yep.
So they should listen to the nerds, not the farmers and the fishermen.
Oh, like they've ever done that before.
They should pretend to listen to the nerds.
Yeah.
I know what I'm about.
Right. So, yes, this is going to cause some consternation. Although it's like a hive world, and they will get a good number of people who are stupid enough to sign up because they've never heard of an orc. And we'll probably
Don't
get
worry,
the Imperial Primer version of an orc.
there you go.
I'm pretty
Right,
sure
right.
everyone gets the Imperial Primer version of an orc anyway. And besides, they're gonna draft. They don't need volunteers. They're just gonna draft.
Well,
people.
we haven't hit the conscription levels yet for the Imperial Tithe yet. They're starting out low for food.
Yeah. Well, they will draft, but they will take volunteers over draft. As honestly,
And the
anyone wants to
volunteer stations
volunteer.
can open up immediately, whereas the drafting needs to wait until the ship gets closer.
You got to get used to it before the draft stuff starts coming in.
Great, so great. Which part of this is our problem?
That will come a few days later.
Absolutely none of it. Good.
Yeah, none of the draft is your problem. None of the tithing is your problem. When people of the Free Paradise Militia seize one of the entry ports to Capitolis. Should have chosen a name I could actually say. Yeah. So,
After enough repetition, they all become impossible.
yeah. There are many ins and outs to the city. Massive gates where like rail lines and stuff like that run and bring food into the city. And of course, they are shipping most of the food out of the city because it's just an easy way to bring it. They've already got the transport system to bring it in, load it up, and then ship it out again.
Hub and spoke.
Yep. So, by seizing one of these, they have cut off a large amount of the imports, which obviously is causing problems, but in the more kind of direct way, it's a personal affront to the governor, and, well, yeah, you'll get called into the boss, who is obviously not happy because this is once again getting in the way of his research. I mean, how's a man supposed to do weird research if people keep calling him to do his actual job?
Mm-hmm.
The travails of being the only Inquisitor on the planet. This isn't even his Ordo's jurisdiction, you know?
Nope. He just happens to be here.
Forced into this shit by bureaucracy, and he's pissed.
Yes.
Yep.
And now he's making it our problem because that's what we're for.
Unfortunately.
I was supposed to be on vacation today.
No.
No,
What?
you're
He
not.
wasn't even supposed to be here today.
Vacations are no.
You haven't
Still
earned a
hold up.
vacation
I
yet.
feel like Clerks doesn't hold up.
Vacations are for interrogators, not flunkies.
I'm not sure about Clark's. I watched Spaceballs for the first time, and that was not as good as I was hoping. I think it's
Didn't
probably.
age well.
Did it hold up?
I think the problem is that I've seen all the good jokes already because it's been spoiled over the
yeah.
years.
That would do it. You're
And-
left with
The rest of it is just kind of a little bit tacky because it's just
Oh, so
I realize I don't have a picture of the
I will
bottle.
say this: when Spaceballs
It's-
hits, it fucking hits. But
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
it does have.
It is also how many years out of from a different
It's like 40 years
different
old.
period? Yeah,
Alright.
so
Is it only 40 years old?
So they've just announced a sequel.
They have. I am looking
Space-
forward to that.
Spaceballs.
87.
the
So
quest-
actually, it's not quite 40 years old.
And also
Spaceballs
the
2.
Naked-
I'm so glad they titled it correctly.
And also the Naked Gun sequel, which is coming out this year as well.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Liam Neeson is leading the new Naked Gun movie, and it looks actually genuinely very funny.
Okay, that could be funny.
We're off topic
Anyway,
again.
we're getting off topic.
You get dragged. Yeah, that's my fault.
No, I'm the one who brought up Clerks.
Oh yeah, you wrote Clark's. I went to Spaceballs. Yeah. So. Yep, you're dragged in. Right, you lot. Another little job for you. So you've probably heard that the Free Paradise Militia, he's making air quotes, has seized Gate A in Sector 110. So we could easily send in the troops, smash it up, break it down, but we're just going to martyr them. So we've got a much better idea. A group of well-meaning locals are going to counterattack, and they're going to seize the entryway and liberate it for the Emperor. As we've not been able to find any well-meaning locals, you guys are going to go in and pretend.
Right. So this is another false flag operation, but this time you want us to pretend to be loyalist citizens. That's strange.
Yeah.
I mean, we typically are loyalist citizens. We're talking about. There's no pretending here.
So you're loyalists to the Emperor, you're not citizens.
No,
Exactly.
wait.
We're not citizens of this planet, are we?
No. Yeah, he wants you to go in, pretend to be a part, like, people on it. Then, like, destroy the rebels and show how the planet is working well with the Empire, Imperium Empire. Well,
Show them that this is just sour grapes from whoever.
Yeah. A vocal minority.
Vocal minority with apparently a decent number of small arms, but
Yeah, they're one of the local militias. And also, we think you've had some contact with this group before. Because they're talking about the massacre at Sector 110.
oh,
Which, you guys perpetrated.
that bunch.
Yeah, that bunch.
Yeah, that okay.
Bunch is that?
That's the ones we went down into the sort of clothes shop underneath the surface and had that massive fight with the gangers.
Guys.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
I
The
have
church burners.
Is there any restrictions on armaments, sir?
Not really, as long as it's kind of acceptable.
As long as we can get it in there.
You have to be quiet.
So, I do not have enough ranks of stealth to hide a Baneblade under my cloak. Don't ask.
Oh, how many ranks of stealth do I have?
Your ranks of what?
I mean,
Baneblade?
the hide. I'm just wondering if it's knife time again, and if I can actually bring my power sword this time.
Well, you have to get close. Well, it's all up to you how to infiltrate. You might be able to get in there quietly, or might just want to go in noisily. They are numerous, however, so I would probably not charge the front doors unless you are willing to shock and awe them.
Shock and maul them. I got you.
On the other hand, there is a good chance you could break them. You did enough casualties quickly.
Was that me? Or...
Nice rolling.
There is something to be said for a shock assault occasionally. It's true.
Sorry, I rolled that. Oh, that's why. I still had spasm.
I'm rolling that.
I was wondering. I clicked over. I still had warp charge, which I thought was weird because I thought I purged. It turns out I'd forgotten to stop sustaining that spasm that I cast on the guy. Again, what the fuck?
Voice of Frost, isn't it?
You know if you roll that twice in one place, it's going to be permanent, right?
Yes, that's happened already.
You just keep making everywhere so cold. Why don't you just do that in a just turn places in the freezer so we can hang meat there or something?
It is fucking insane how often that's happened.
Yeah.
The law of averages have not averaged out yet.
Can you not do that in my office?
I'm just going to take a half step close to Eric to just see if I can deactivate.
Slippery ×2 ambidextrous, combat attack ×2. Did I get the shield blocks? Oh, here we go. Bulwark. That's what I got last time.
But I just thought something was stuck on my sheet because I changed it to 0, but it was still showing. So I thought, oh, maybe I have to actually hit the purge button to. But nope, it's because I forgot that spasm is a sustained power for.
So,
Right, it's Guardian I'm going for next.
so if you'd like to mosey on out, cause some chaos, and yeah, get back here, I can get back to work.
Chaos. Defeat some chaos. What? Wait, no. Hold on.
Wait.
Bad phrasing.
Wait,
Bad phrasing, yes, he wouldn't use the word chaos.
cause some.
Well, no,
Just hello.
It snaps over to.
we might use small c chaos.
Yeah.
How about some disorder?
Disorder. That's a better.
Yes,
That's a better.
better one.
Okay, I'm a
Little
curtain
light
bleeding.
disorganization among our enemies.
I can just imagine like 40k. There's chaos out there. Everyone just like.
They changed.
Chaos out
Oh
there.
my!
Suddenly, Death Watch is approaching.
They changed the look of a couple of things, these skills and everything. Nice. They made it look more fancy.
What?
I think just maybe it's just me having a what you call this. All right, so back to the conspiracy board. We because
we should probably clear this.
yes, let's get a new conspiracy board, Gray. We go we thank our Inquisitor. We go out. We go back over to planning room B. And we start working on objectives and ideas and objectives.
So, from a GM's point of view, I will point out we should be using superiority for this.
Aha.
Because this is the type of thing that superiority would be very used to.
Yes, that is a good shout.
Because you could theoretically break the force without killing them all.
Yes, but will we? There's no way.
So remove rebel.
There's a plentiful way. It just involves a significant number of bolt shells. Just because some of the heretic militias have turned up. Sorry, I'll try that sentence again. Just because some of the citizen militias have turned doesn't mean all of them will.
Well,
I
it's
think
less.
technically they are heretics.
I think they are heretics at this point. I mean, they've been shown the blessed light of the Emperor, and they're all like, nah.
Not all of them had, I thought, but yeah.
What was this called? What they are?
Attempting to undermine an imperial operation. That makes heretics whatever else anyone says.
I think the better term is recidivist.
Actually, yeah, recidivist. Probably more accurate.
Is a lot. So because they are recalcitrant, trying to maintain the previous global order.
Well, no, they're just trying not to have the Tithe take their food, but.
No, for this one right here, it's more just opposition to the imperial thing. The whole thing being that this is the first ask of the empire, and they are trying to make resistance. I don't think if even they just asked for anything else, like any other kind of material, they would have had this kind of pop up. This is more of a resistance movement than it is a picket from a gave versus food and so forth.
You know, we could solve this in one go if we could draft all these guys.
But okay, so in main to keep loyal support, maintain.
The real question is, do we want to go in just us to take these guys out?
I mean, we could probably kill
squad. Do is we could start some shit with the rest of the populace that isn't trying to do this, and be like, you know, they're trying to undermine blah blah blah, and get them to sort of overpower this.
What we need is a reporter. So if we get a on-site reporter from the news corps and have them help,
we already did the news stuff.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying we should have some frontline coverage to ensure that people know that of the local opposition to these horrible recidivist rebel groups.
See, I was just trying to think of ways to not be the only people going up against a mob of very angry, armed
But we are very good at fighting very angry armed mobs, though.
Yes, but more bodies between us and them is never a bad thing.
But that's more liabilities between us and them as well.
I'm just saying we should recruit some of the press gang squads and press gang these guys.
We don't really have many. Well, we're not press
Yeah,
ganging. They're getting food. There's no
That's
press
not
gangs.
really gonna work because
There's no press gangs at Terran. This is just for food. They're not doing the conscription. They're doing just food requisitions.
They started the conscription as
I mean-
well, but yeah.
But
I think we're
again,
beyond the point of.
Remember,
Sorry, go on.
though, the main thing being that it's supposed to be local opposition to this rather
also
than
that
imperial
yeah,
opposition.
we're not.
Yeah.
This is why maintain
right,
cover.
right.
Maintain cover is a part of the goals we have here of remove rebels, keep local support, and maintain cover.
Yeah.
I
So-
We
really
can't
do
just
think-
go in flashing the badge.
Yeah, I really do think direct violence is probably our fail state here.
I mean, I think direct violence is kind of the thing we're at to go is one of our go-tos.
Oh,
of
I
it. It
fully
needs to be
expect.
What do you have
direct
against
violence
Plan
at some
A?
point. I fully expect direct violence will happen at some point. I'm just saying, like, maybe it shouldn't be Plan A.
I
don't think
do
it's
have a
we-
suggestion
Go
for
ahead.
planning.
Go ahead.
Identify the ringleaders of this rabble/militia and eliminate them. This is not some big organized governmental effort. This is a militia that's gone rogue. If you take out the power
That's a
leaders,
good point.
they'll start fighting amongst themselves.
Remember that this
Hang
militia
on.
here has its own cell operation in its own right.
Indeed.
Again, also remember local. It's supposed to be local stuff, so it's not going to be. If we do assassinations, we don't maintain the local cover idea of having the locals drive them out. So what we would need is we would need is some pickets and some pickets and protest to it.
Depends
Then
how you
becomes
assassinate
violent.
someone. In our
Then it-
usual standard, no, I'd agree. But if all we
Then
need is a psychopath with a bomb, who in an emperor's name or some such wants to delete the heritage, then that's very on brand for local
Well,
supporters. It gets the job done.
Well, that's the main thing is that we have to maintain it being local cover. So that it's either we need to get a. So our options would most likely be is local opposition, local picketing, local what's it called again? Protest of the
You just said the
insurgency.
same thing 3 times. You realize?
Yes, I know. I'm working the idea as I'm talking. Please.
I mean, I still say, like, even if we do go with that, we should probably recruit some actual locals, both to
Yeah.
have extra bodies to throw into the grinder, because let's face it, that's going to happen, and
Mhm.
also to lend us more credibility, more legitimacy with the whole
Well-
it's a local grassroots thing.
We also need to find. Well, we need to find information of what's like on the ground for that area. Where is happening again, Gray?
Gate 1, like one of the entrances to the city.
Oh, it was Gate A.
Oh, Gate A, yeah.
Okay,
We
Gate
really need to figure out our fucking Gat A.
I don't see you writing. I don't see you writing on the board.
So as
We have
for
it this-
local support, we do know a bunch of people who have combat robots, servitors, one of the
That's
two.
true. We do.
We
and
do,
Most of
yes.
them don't hate us.
Very true
So
and
the main
important.
thing being okay. So if we can incentivize them for actually working with us and for this,
We can point out that more servitors will happen if they follow the emperor.
well, remember their entire thing is just local entertainment stuff.
Yeah. We have a cogboy, don't we?
I think ATIRA is busy dealing with his own fun thing, or what his name was.
Oh, I mean, I thought one of us was like a cogboy in training or something.
No, we have Sarkis's sacred unguents have proved that he is not perhaps as advanced in the Mechanicus as he would like to think.
Textuals
I'm,
exist. but
I'm
they're
much
not as
better at
fun.
theory than I am at practical. I will admit that. It's true. I'm getting better.
So, honestly, I would say getting more information about getting more liberation on the area of Gate A.
Yeah, we should probably recce the area first, and then move on to more specific.
I mean, we can always do the next best thing of the tried and true. Boys in Blue is put out. We're gonna have to go and put out some flyers and Craigslist ads equivalents to get some paid protesters to give us the idea that this is going on, so we can then move our own violence
We
in.
could also just like. I think Adam was onto something. We know people with combat robots.
All right,
We just
if Addy can motivate said people for combat robots to get involved with this, we'll see what he can do. Addy, if you want to try that out.
we could always point out that if the Imperium decides to start bombing, they're not going to get any more combat parts.
Oh, just go and we'll find it. We'll see if Addy can convince him. I'm sure he has his means of persuasion.
Yeah,
Wanna give it a
well,
shot,
we're still brainstorming now, but yeah, I could do that later.
Okay, we'll put that on the table of a potential ally requisition. So
Yeah, that's actually a good point. We should figure out who we actually have, like, what our options are.
So using the actual text thing. So we're getting maintain notes. Remove rebels. Maintain local support. Come on. This thing does not have a flip down thing. Anyway.
No, it's not really designed to be writing on.
Yeah, it's a pain in my. It's the biggest pain in my rear for all this. Anyway, so we'll have that on the thing. So for when it comes to getting support, we have paid actors, which is always a possibility. You can see who shows up and who would be willing for a fiver to go and hold a picket sign outside a place.
We could also just get like actual people who want to be part of the Imperium.
Actual people who want to work for the Imperium too. Since they want, we don't have to say it's not. As long as they're locals, it counts. Robo Crew.
I get the feeling Robo Crew might be one of the above.
We'll find out.
Possibly both of the above.
I mean, we can find.
Yeah.
Look, all we need is a big enough cover for when the fighting starts to actually start killing people. For us to actually start killing people, like the Spec Ops, like the Spec Ops crew we are. All right.
I think you're giving us way too much credit.
Or the Spec Ops too little credit. So anyone. So let's go. So let us go and do a reconnoiter over a gauge to see if there's anything we.
First of all, we need to know what we're actually dealing with.
Yes. And also I'm sure we can probably splice in somewhere and get.
Actually, wait, we're already on these guys' shit list, right?
Yes, they don't like us. The rebels do not like us.
How we might be able to convince the locals that they're just mad that we kicked their asses.
I mean, well, here's the thing. What we can do is that we could resurrect our old our crew gang persona to attack them again as well. The even local gangs count as locals. Yep. So we can resurrect our gang persona.
Could do. So what's it? Just math that out a little further. What's the plan with that? We have loyal citizens acting as the picket line, and our gang persona then becomes the instrument of how we kill the commanders.
Or we just go in for the or for when if it all comes to one head to head. The main thing being is that assassination, while a lovely thing to use, it's not nearly as public as we would want it. We don't want this to just become headless and disperse. We want, the idea of the loyal paradise citizen saying, "No, we must help the Imperium," rather than, oh my, they just suddenly fell over. Who would have guessed? Type deal.
Hmm.
I mean, we could go in for the assassinations and then see what happens when it cocks it up. We just need to, have a better cover for that. But I'm just saying, my idea is just riot that just picket line that turns into riot, that turns into route, essentially turns into their route essentially.
If you were looking for just a mass of bodies who could be relied upon to make some noise in that regard, we do have that contact. Oh, what the devil was her name? The old Arbeits lady.
I
We
mean,
need it to be local, though, is the thing.
yeah,
True.
so we would need to acquire the. I mean, if the local Arbeits lady wants to let us have, a prison leave work program for that, more than happy for that. She wants to give us whomever she has in her prison cells for this. Since we do need, they would if they have locals that are the Bethugus variant, we could scrub them up and give them some good clothes to stand the line and then start thumping when they have a chance.
Not to mention, I wager some people in that prison probably would be very happy to do something noble for the Imperium if it meant they got themselves out of jail quicker.
Or throw
Yeah.
hands with the local militia that may have
Been the ones that
get
put
Put
them
them
there
in
in the first
jail.
place. Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, Arbeity lady.
Just in terms of condensing enough manpower in one place where we have plausible deniability for everything else that we do afterwards.
So here's the question: do we want to split it between Reconnoita and Talkie Talk?
Probably because I think time is probably not going to be on our side, given that this is a rather public problem we're dealing with.
Yes. If you want to
I'll
at
handle.
least
Yeah, I'll go on the Reconnoiter team.
I would. Where do you guys want me, Reconnoita or Talkie Talk? I was also thinking Reconnoita, but
My heart says Talkie Talk because they're like one of our only actually competent talkers. But
I was.
my brain says no because you're discard.
Ouch.
I
Ouch.
I resemble this statement, for I am he you do speak of.
Discard, you have good sneak, right?
Stealth is 37. Unfortunately, I only have one bonus mistake. Only one both mistake. And if I were to spend my
I don't
50
think I've
experience
failed a
points,
single stealth check this entire campaign, so I'm obviously going Recce team.
No.
let me see.
I mean,
Can I do move silently? Let's see. I'm gonna say whoever can do the hacking thing. We can see if we can get a look on the inside of the place via if any internal CCTVs are still working.
Absolute last case scenario, I do have several psychic powers, so
That can
yes.
what can
I
several
am
psychic
pretty good
powers
at
do?
hacking. That is something I have been working on.
Yes, so I would say Sarkis be a part of been part of Reconnoiter Squad to see if they can get any internals. Also, do we happen to have? Does anyone have a servo skill of some sort?
nope, I have
No.
failed every attempt I've made to get one.
No,
Needless
but
to say, I haven't actually
Can
attempted to get
we
one, but
can we bat our eyelashes and look very pathetic at at our secretary lady, see if she can give us a
she ain't
survey
giving a
drone?
shit, dog.
yeah,
Or
but considering the matter at hand, I feel like asking her and saying, "Look, the Inquisitor's given us a priority one job. Can you see if you can rustle temporary servos?"
why have
Not a bad ask.
why have a very powerful patron if we can't beg for
Tap them. Yeah.
kowtow for some material?
Ask for presents. Yeah.
I will poke my head out of the the planning room. Walk over to the secretary. Kowtow on all fours and beg her for, please, ma'am. Could you please supply us with some surveillance material for this mission? Hopefully something airborne.
Airport. We're in a hive.
Yep.
I mean, the Hive has open room indoors. I'm sure. Not every part of the Hive is, completely. I mean, I'm sure, but something that's small, airborne, and like can survey like a survey drone or survey skull. Do I need to beg? So should I
You need to
roll
make a
for my
begging
big-
roll. Of course, you need to make a begging roll.
All right, I will try for my
Eh.
charm. I will pay for advantage on this charm roll. Do I have anything for my pure on my hands and knees, kowtow, pleading, Gray? Do I have any bonuses on that?
No,
Okay.
That's the thing you're doing to be able to make the roll.
She's in a good mood today.
yeah,
It was a double.
Or she's in a bad enough mood that she just rubber stamps it because she doesn't want to deal with your shit.
yeah. Just throw
I'm not
something.
giving her. I'm not
Go
giving
on.
her. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Kind of
Yeah.
each rummages around, pulls out random, like pulls out a random skull, taps it a little bit, smacks it on the desk a couple of times. The eyes kind of flickers a light. It takes off. There you go. Don't use it for too long. I'm not sure how long it will last.
Thank you. I will take the skull and bring it back on site. Sarkis, we have a friend for you.
Great.
This is it. What would you for this mission, Gray? What would you say this mission critical material would be called? Essentially,
It's a servo skull.
It's a servo skull.
Gray, have I seen any servo skulls moving around the non-imperial parts of this place?
No.
Didn't think so.
it could be a survey skull.
Well,
Our first stop is going to be at the local tourist trap costume shop. I'm getting this thing a summer hat and some sunglasses.
See, I would have just said have it surveil from far enough away that it isn't immediately visible. But
Yeah, that might help too.
Let's see.
Firing up Blender.
Yes.
I already have a servo skull.
Everyone loves the Hawaiian disguised servo skull. It's the best servo skull.
I have a servo skull already made, so
Let me give me one moment.
there is a scanner option for servo skulls.
I'm trying to find it in the book. Can someone give me a hand with looking?
It's on page 149.
Damn, you fast.
I only know where it used to be.
I already looked it up. That's how I know that we can get a scanner for it.
Scanner would be good.
Yeah, it basically just functions as an Auspex.
Neat.
Better than the I mean, more in the fact of the Auspex we have on hand. We also have an Auspex on hand, but
Yes, we already have one.
that's
Now
in
we have two.
Sabine's. This one's a remote Auspex we can at least use too. So
But you still have to be in short range of it to use it.
Mm-hmm. Which limits its potential as being usable from
Well,
far
no,
away.
see, what we can do, presumably, as some measure of internal storage, what we can do is send it off, and then once it comes back, just take that data.
this is why I'm giving it to Sarkis. Sarkis, here is this.
Great, thanks.
Core rule book items. I'm sorry. I'm still looking around. I'm trying to find out where it would be on. I'm trying to find it in the thing.
Oh, in the mod.
Armory tools.
Yeah, armory tools. Oh, okay.
Wouldn't it be?
Thank you. Maybe we'll find.
No.
Nope. Senskin's there though. You want to wear that? Servo skull. No servo skull. Oh, what page you say that was again?
149.
149. One born 9. Nope, doesn't pop up there.
Brain's not working.
I see Monotest Servo Skull in the armory just fine. I don't.
Or where in the arm? Which part? Which part of the armory?
It's armory. It's under tools.
I could always
Look
consider that I can always agree that I am blind.
I think what happened was you were looking under S for Servo Skull when it's under M for Monotask.
Yes, that would be the issue. Servo skill doesn't start with M.
Why is it not servo skill colon monotask?
Comma.
Comma
I'm
monotask.
pretty sure servo skill is a creature type.
All right, so let's pull this over and drop this into Sarkis's back pocket for the present being.
Already got one.
Yay! Okay, and so we have it for that loud
This
hair
mission
alert.
or until its battery dies.
Yep.
I assume it's going to work once and then fall over and break.
It's old.
Oh, that means it's better than normal. Let me immediately upgrade this to best
All right.
quality.
So that will go with Sarkis in Team Reconnoiter, where they can get
Then
look and stuff.
It's old in parentheses derogatory.
I don't understand the concept of old and bad. No, that's not a thing.
Old is always better.
It's the 41st millennium. Old is good.
As they always say, they don't make them like they used to.
Pretty sure it's the 42nd millennium, actually.
Well, anyways, it's definitely a millennium.
Yeah. No, it's a millennium, guys.
All right, so we have that. That'll at least make it a little bit easier for that. So Ablative is on Team Talkie, if I'm correct, right?
No, where did you get that idea?
I mean, Ablative added is on Team Talkie.
Correct.
Cool.
Great, now it's not just Gray doing it.
Yay! I'm so happy.
Your both start with A's. I'm sorry. So
I mean, I at least apologize every time. Yeah, I know I'm doing it wrong.
Eric, where are you going?
I'm ablative. I'm not on Talkie team, which by process of elimination means I'm on Recce team.
You're on Reconnoiter. Okay, so that's 3 people in Reconnoiter, I guess, if Sabine's going on Reconnoiter.
Yeah, this is kind of a problem. We have way more not Talkie people than Talkie people.
Well, we don't need all the talkie people on one group. We only need one talkie person on one group, really.
I will go on Talkie group.
More than that, it's just excessive.
But okay, which person you want me to go talk to is the main question.
Well, that was the first order to go through our notes from the last mission and figure out who would be receptive to being bribed or manipulated into giving up robots.
Yep.
Look pointedly at GM.
Okay.
You know,
Your last mission.
I kind of want to put the robots in Hawaiian gear and have them pretend to be the protesters. I don't know why, but this is just in my head now.
Interesting, nice choice.
This
Yeah.
sounds like a good job for a logic investigation test. Or maybe
That's
intuition people.
You know what? Logic
One
investigation.
of those.
I'll toss those out and see what happens. No, I have no idea. My brain explodes. I have a hemorrhage.
It wasn't a critical failure.
I think I remembered the wrong guy.
Weren't you talking about this other guy?
Oh, you're right. You're right.
So you were
Their names
talking.
are very similar.
Nope.
Great.
Yeah, you're talking about Reason O'Dear, aren't you?
It's been so long I don't remember who that is.
You're talking about the person who's on the TV. Or are we talking about the people? Sorry, I was
Yeah, the robot fighting rings. We met a bunch of them.
Yes.
Yeah, the robot fighting rings.
I also want going back or circling back around. I also want to talk to the reporter lady because we do need beneficial ground coverage for the propaganda machine as well. So making sure it's covered in the way we want it to too. So having her there to watch to report on the protests, come riots, if that's where we're going, I'm sure on that.
Yeah.
Our cover, basically, for our giving credence to the cover story, essentially. So having a reporter on site for that as well is going to be fun. If anyone's going to ask
Definitely.
why there's a reporter on site, it's because they're so good at their job.
I didn't make any names for them.
Wow. Nice investigation roll, Discard.
I know, it's
Yeah.
horrible.
Having a friendly reporter around to properly smear our opponents while giving us, the proper cover would be vital to this plan.
Or just reporting what we're doing as legitimate, as basically giving the idea of what's legitimacy to what we're doing. Basically, not even having to smear the other people, just saying that this is a protest and not just a bunch of imperial jumped ups.
Yeah, I don't actually think any names for those people. Yeah, we'll just make. Yeah, you can get in contact. The old Fight Club.
All right. So we'll call. So the first one's going to be Adam, and then the guy in the back's going to be called Jason, right? And they're both going to be named Dent.
Well, call him by his nickname, Smasher.
It's going to be Crush. Oh God. Crusher and Snasher.
As long as they don't start talking about family, I think we're fine.
Damn.
First words out of their mouth.
Welcome to the
Well, we don't know
family.
anything about their family.
Well, basically use the fact that we've met before to just call up and try to arrange a meeting with them on short notice.
Yep. Should be fine. Yep. They'll remember you, obviously. And they don't really have any reason to think you're part of the
Imperium.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
No. They will probably quite happily meet with you.
Excellent. Well, rock up to a meeting with them and tell them, listen, I got a fabulous inn with the Imperium of Man and the Mechanicum. They're big on conservatives. They got custom parts, stuff this world has never seen. But they in order to make contacts, they got to do favors. And if I get this contact, I'm going to share it with you, buddy.
Really? So it's kind of like a fight club. So we kind of run a fight club here. Why would we need other servitors?
Well, latest and greatest. Got to give the people what they want, right?
Yes. So,
right. So
what,
I got
yeah, you go on.
I got a contact with the Mechanicum who can get you a bunch of flashy new kit. But in order to get that flashy new kit, I got to do a favor for him. And if you do a favor for me, hey, we share in the contact. I get your stuff at a discount.
Right. What would the favor be?
Well, see, the Imperium has got this burr in their saddle about delayed shipments, and a bunch of people are holding it up, and some combat robots would probably clear that situation right up.
Ah, you want to go to that place? We've seen the news. Looks like it could be pretty damn dangerous. We want anything to do with that.
It's robots. You don't got to go yourself. Put your own skin on the line. You're a businessman.
Yeah, I'm just more wondering how we'd work it. Because, assuming you wanted to take our robots to some rather interesting places.
Yeah, but it's going to be a big show of force. Show the local flag. Everybody loves the Imperium.
They're going to be safe. There's a lot of investment riding on these things.
Look, I personally promise you on my very esteemed honor that if any of them are substantially damaged, I'll repair them out of my own pockets. He'll just like flash a cred stick.
All right. You have to have a think about this, you know. It's not just me. I'm assuming you're going to need more than just a few.
You know, where I got contacts elsewhere, but every little bit helps. You know, people got to help people in business, right?
Guess so. Oh, all right, so you have to make a persuasion. He's obviously not entirely happy with the idea of like letting these robots go off fighting, getting destroyed when he doesn't make that much money off it.
Think of the publicity.
It's an investment. Add fate to this.
Oh, good point.
Success level for having influence.
Yeah.
Factions. You know.
All right. Sorry. Okay, can't promise massive numbers, but we'll see what we can get you. Yep. You give us a date and time. We'll get what we can to the area. How's that sound?
Absolutely. I will be in contact, and just drops 1,000 solars on his desk as a tip.
Yep. All right. Not messing around. Oh, this is foreign currency, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that's what you're going to be using soon enough. Like, Glory to the Golden Throne.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll take them.
Come on, man. Like you, he's going to do great in the Imperium.
We'll see. We seem to be doing fine at the moment, so I'm not entirely sure how we can improve on that. But
Oh,
we'll
trust
see.
me. The agent's going to be like put out a hand and sweep it across golden.
Right. Well, whereas at least we can like plan for the future.
Okay, I will be in contact.
Excellent.
Like finger guns out.
Yeah, you've at least got some support there.
Oh, some excellent talky bit.
Yeah, that's honestly, I'm gonna be honest. That's more than I was expecting.
Yeah.
Just because we're not the best at rolling for this kind of thing. The fact that we got anything is amazing.
Nice.
Better than
frankly.
nothing. The main question being is also we're looking for to do the riot and infiltrate riot and the protest or riot plan, if I remember correctly, or have we not come up with that yet?
Well,
I'm
we're
just
putting
saying-
pieces together to see what we got.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're-
So who wants to do the who's going to be talking to the news crew is a question.
it's probably on you.
Okay. Let's see if I can find anyone. Need to make sure that hope we don't find the one rare principled reporter.
Preposterous.
On the planet.
Nonsense.
Just accidentally find the one reporter who had a problem with the. Oh wait, no, that's also them.
Oh, there's probably a lot of those, but fortunately we've gotten most of them fired.
Yeah, true.
What do you mean that's bad? No, it isn't.
Do we have a contact that comes from that we've met within the? Who would be the best person to talk to? Just make sure the follow-up from the last job was that we got the top guy and his wayward son, if I'm correctly, right?
Yeah, the Fox network. Yeah.
Yes, the fox.
Well, we
Okay.
didn't really get Fox the Senior on side so much as just convince him to let his fortune go to this Fox the Younger instead of the others.
Okay. Then we can work with that. We could probably talk to then we could, but we have a talk to Fox the Younger. Main thing big
Remember,
is
though, he's the head honcho of the entire planet's media mogul empire. He's it's entirely possible he's not going to give us the time of day, even if we're the ones who helped him get to his position.
I mean, we'll see when it comes to that. Just need to work. Let's not poo poo our chickens before they're hatched.
Do you enjoy like fucking up phrases like that, or
No, I don't know what you're talking
Blunt.
about. Something really
You've
wrong with
seen
them.
Mario's weapon loadout. Blunt metaphors trauma is very much within his wheelhouse.
Yes.
fair enough?
Speaking of, so you want me to go and talk to the news crew?
All right.
Yes.
So this won't be a major news crew. You know, they're not going to be touching this with anything important. They're trying to kind of still play a low profile. So they'll be reporting on it, but they won't be wanting anyone who's going to go in and like do a full-on expose or anything like that.
We don't
To
really
be
need
fair,
an
that's
expose.
probably for the best, like safety-wise, of their
We don't-
crews.
We
Yeah.
don't need an expose. We just need enough people to be filming for B-reel, or at least if we have a servo skull on hand, we can have that. We can supply them with what B-reel we have when we get from that with the aspects, I guess. The servo skull could be used to record and be our cameraman for these upcoming events.
What's this?
It's a good point.
people map?
Oh, I've put together like the pictures of people and their names to try and make a board of
Oh, okay.
important
An
people.
actual
I don't have vision in it. So
An-
Oh,
an
that's
actual
another
conspir-
stupid thing. Okay.
basically a better conspiramid.
Well, no, it's just for like token vision off.
it's to make sure we actually know.
Who-
Yeah, it's for
Long-term tracking.
Oh,
So we
can't
can
just-
remember who's who. That's kind of important.
I would say make it a
Stanley
white
Rough
background.
Diamond. I don't remember him.
I would say make it a white background so we can type in stuff notes next to their name and everything. This is good night black agent training for when we actually have to make our own conspiramid to hunt
Yeah.
down vampires.
There you go. So yeah, just he's
Okay.
Sydney Rough Diamond is the head of the Imperial Guard units here. You've had some vague, like
Okay, if we're not really going to work too much with the news crew, then we can worry about something else. Then we can work on something else then.
yeah. I mean, the news crew are going to pretty much parrot whatever they're told, anyways. Having one on site is probably not that much of a threat.
Necessary.
Yeah.
Okay, then we'll have then we'll basically be able to have them we'll be able to submit material we get from the servo skill, I guess. If we haven't do any B-roll footage, but since I've already said that.
That's useful.
Who else? Who else do you want to send me to? That religious place, right?
That does not.
That church. The one that was burned down.
Those locals.
That's it? Okay, the church is not locals, okay. I mean, locals, they probably have some local congregates in the church, but anyway.
Yeah, they will do, but probably not that many yet. Probably not going to want to send them off on a suicide mission.
That's not really tough to assist. Well, I mean, the locals I don't really want to be fighting. I just want them to be the cover for when when fighting starts and we push deep and they just, maintain the perimeter for, just giving it because we're going to be the strategical strike force that goes in and doing the most of the fighting. They're just our cover for the fighting for us to be fighting then. You know? If I'm making any sense.
I thought the plan was not to do any fighting at all.
I don't think we're getting we're getting out of this without fighting.
Hmm.
Well,
I
I
don't
see.
think.
I've just added the servo skull onto the conspiracy board.
Very good.
What do you want to call? What do you want to name him? Survey.
Oh, that's not my job.
Oh, good lord.
Timmy.
Scully.
Oh, no.
Timmy.
Don't know why there's two of them. I
What?
can't delete the other one.
Okay.
If we get another one, it's Lassie. Lassie's job will be to make sure Timmy stays out of wells.
All right. I say we.
Eh.
I say. Well, typically servo skulls are cut off to like this point right here, or like right here. So that much should be okay. I'm gonna go do some. I'm gonna do a talent call at least to see if we can find anyone who can actually just do the show up and pen and picket holding as well.
You go to a talent
They can
show.
just not a talent show, a talent call. Put a do some. See if we can get anyone who can. Because what we need essentially is just enough bodies to make our our fight seem legit. And we need them.
Basically, put up like a temp job or something.
Yes.
Wanted protesters.
I mean, this is
Might
not.
be easier to find like actual people who want to protest this.
Well, let's go. Well,
Yes.
you know what? Let's find out the information from survey team. Survey team, go survey.
Right. I'll make a surveying check.
No, make it
I thought you were on
getting
top
to the
team.
air. No, he's on survey team.
Why does it keep appearing and disappearing?
What?
The
Oh, yeah. Good.
Yeah.
disappearing when hovered. I don't.
I don't even know how to set
Okay.
that. I can't even select it anymore.
Base magic.
Help. I've infected the server of a haunted servo skull.
No.
I mean, if something's going to be haunted, it's going to be a servo skull.
Let's not Five Nights at Freddy this with a servo skull, please.
He's dead. I've killed him. I've
Okay.
killed him.
Hey! There was much rejoicing.
Behind me, isn't it?
Dang it! Did Timmy fall
Yes,
down
yes,
another
he's behind
well?
Yes.
All right.
Apparently, yes.
He can fly as long as he's not over water.
Team. Let's go.
Let's go.
Does anyone on Sneak Team have any idea what we're actually supposed to be doing?
Find out how many of the enemy there are, the force composition of their forces, and whether anyone is counter-protesting.
Oh, thank God, someone
Well,
competent.
And identify leaders so that we know who to take out if we have to go the loud route.
I mean, when we have to go the loud route.
Yes, granted.
I am very saying that loud is. We're going to have to go. Loud is very much a possibility we're going to have to get used to.
Yeah.
Too bad we never figured out the
That's
low
a
power mode on the
very good
insanity gun.
idea added. Where is that?
That's in the rules
Yeah, where are the
under
rules?
superiority.
Mm-mm.
So
Superiority being
learning
how
about
much
the
damage you do.
battlefield give you a superiority.
Hey!
We're going to want that for later.
We're gonna
Yes.
get
Yes,
know
we
that
are.
flow from this too.
There's know thy battlefield, know thy enemy. What's the third one? No.
Know thyself.
Yeah, know that.
Yeah, which is +1 potentially for any zany schemes.
I really hope it's zany schemes in the book, actually.
It is unfortunately not, but
It says inspired schemes in the book.
That's slightly more sensible.
It doesn't know it very well. That's fine.
I am, if anything, very inspired most of the time.
You are a zany scheme. Shut up.
But someone let the daily scheme out, and now I've got to receive sentience.
Whoops.
let's try and work on know thy foe and battlefield first, and then we can begin the scheming.
Yes.
I gotta go break out my rules for Radicals book again.
All right, scout team, let's get our stealth rolls on them.
Did someone? Okay, that was weird. Discard just vanished for a second.
I hit the wrong button.
I'm adequate at stealth. No,
Yep.
you're right back. I got
He rolls a 9.
I'm all right, Adam.
I'm adequate at stealth. Impressive.
Yeah, I was going to say that's strong for adequate. I'll give you that.
I'm adequate at stealth.
They're not really looking for us,
Disappears into
Well,
the
true.
background.
and you never saw me again.
I didn't do much worse.
Well, stealth team's on this.
I got 3 degrees of
Incognito.
success, and I was the worst result. I hate this. Wait, hang on.
All right, so we've managed to accidentally sneak aboard the Leviathan, the goddamn dropship, because apparently we're that good.
No, we've just managed to sneak into their staging ground.
So
Yeah.
we're stuck into their
Okay.
secret heretical chaos cult meeting.
All right, everyone, just pretend to be a pot plant. All right, more seriously, Gray, with that level of success, can we get, say, past the initial front lines where these picket lines are and start seeing important places where they may have hidden guns? Things where it'd be good to know where not to walk.
I'd assume we've gotten a good vantage point from which to take the lay of the land, and
Yes.
possibly also their composition and whatnot.
So,
Because, like, 11 degrees of success, that's...
you can get
Go.
pretty much as close as you can before, like, reach the fully lockdown areas. They put, like, a soft perimeter around, like, the rail line. Of course, this is, like, 40k city, so it's, like, got housing built
soft
in.
perimeters.
Yeah,
half
soft-
of the hive.
Yeah, fair enough.
Housing kind of moves near too close to the railway line. There's no safety. Pretty standard hive.
OSHA doesn't exist in 40k.
So
Just
you're
be grateful that they didn't build your house on the rail line.
yeah, you're able to get pretty close before you reach kind of like the last couple 100 meters running
The
to
actual barricades.
the gate. Yeah, you can kind of see the barricades, and people are kind of gawping at the barricades and getting up close. So you're able to mingle in with that. Kind of look over the
Telegram
barricades.
for prisoner 23609.
24601, sir.
All right.
Sorry, 24601. You're right.
So let's. I'm going to have to
It's horrifying.
second. Can I hide that? So I'm just. Yeah, that'll work. What you generally can see.
Oh, hello.
There is no token in the scene. What I can generally see is nothing. I see.
Yes.
We've ducked so hard, we've escaped the vision of light itself.
Eric, you left the covers on the magnoculars again. For God's sake,
Oh.
take them off.
I have magnoculars? When did that happen?
No, but I do, so I'm going to be using them. Because I finally remember to check my equipment page when we do one of these stealth runs. All right, cool. So let's have a look. I'm assuming that they've made the train lines their sort of perimeter then?
Yeah, so this is kind of like the in and out. Obviously, you've got a platform in the middle, and they've kind of blocked off. Right, this is the inner. You can kind of see this. So off to the right is where you're standing, and
Okay.
you can see kind of like in here they put sandbags across the train tracks. They've got this main buildings built in at the sides and a couple on the platforms. So, and there's
Okay.
like soldiers milling around. There's a couple of like weapon emplacements. Here.
Oh, okay. These weird line things.
Yeah, they're my attempts at sandbags because there's nothing like sandbags in there.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
fair.
I think it's just the scale messing with it, honestly.
Oh, good. I was having flashbacks to True Mother's shrine in La Milana.
Going to pretend I know what that means and carry on.
Those.
Okay. Thank you.
A lot of doors.
Yeah, it's a lot of doors and windows. I mean, The thing in the middle is a parked train. I wonder if they're
No,
patrolling the top. I
it's
mean, I
just-
presume they're patrolling.
That's a platform.
Ah, okay.
There's-
Oh, that's the platform.
yeah,
Okay.
There's like a raised platform with 2 buildings.
Okay.
And what appear to be loading cranes.
Trains? Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very
I note
sci-fi
then
cranes.
We've got the
Yeah.
side entrances on the south and north side, which don't appear to have sandbags. So, or at least sandbags blocking them from the main path. So, if we're able to infiltrate into these buildings and appear sort of from the north side, that might be a way to at least get past some of the initial heavy guards.
Actually, yeah. What's the disposition of the troops around here, Gray?
Very active, moving up and down, but relaxed. It's obviously a militia, not a proper military. They don't seem to think anyone's going to attack them, but they have got people watching, like, each way and guarding. They seem to be alert of people, but inside it's pretty lax. There does seem to be a second level, like on top of this, but you can't really see it from where you are. So there are ladders, stairs going up here, and the stairs going up here. So there's like another gantry walkway level above this. But obviously, you kind of just see it exist, but no.
Something for Servo Skull to do when we're in a less obvious position.
Yeah.
Does anything around here look climbable? Maybe we could get up there now, or
Not really. They've kind of sectioned it off. Might be able to go up a level and drop down, but it's an entry port, like warehouse. It's not designed to be easily accessible.
all right. Let's take stock of what they've got on them, though. That's a 4 to get a general idea of their equipment.
Standard las guns, guard flak armor, a couple of like autocannon placements. Can't see anything more high tech than that. Discipline seems to be fairly lax, but they are alert. So probably well motivated, but not exactly professional.
They look more like the
Auto.
weekend warrior type.
Yeah.
Believers
Those
with
autocannons are going to be a problem. Sorry.
So they've got us both out armored and outgunned.
Speak for yourself.
It's not us I'm worried about.
If you, in case you forget, I have a melta gun.
I have a bolt gun.
They have autocannons.
I'm less worried about ourselves because we can use enough cover to get out close to the autocannon. My worry is if our current plan of these are the civilians that we're going to use as the loyalist screen consists of some random spods and combat servitors, autocannons are going to kill them.
Yeah, that's true.
That's very true.
I
On
mean,
the other hand,
what we could do is send them in, like, just to start making noise, and then while the autocannons are on them, we sneak in and sabotage the autocannons.
Or you can sabotage the autocannons before the event happens.
No, we can't, because we'd have to get into this mess, and I get the feeling they're not going to like that very much.
Yep.
Or, you know what we could do? No, that's stupid even for me.
It's stupid and it works. It's still stupid. You're just lucky.
I was gonna say, are the autocannons like facing both directions?
Yeah, there's a couple pointing in and a couple pointing out. They're expecting people like attack from either direction, but their fear
I was
says,
gonna say we just go around the other way,
yeah,
and then I
The
realized
easy
no,
way.
they've probably got them pointing out too.
I mean,
Actually, which way
I mean
looks
another reason
more
why I was
heavily
in
defended, Gray?
main reason, another reason
out is more heavily
Yeah,
defended?
they look to be defending. They're expecting to be attacked
Oh
from
wait,
outside.
no, that makes sense because the trains would be coming in to pick stuff up.
Hmm.
This isn't an ambulance situation.
What I'm thinking is,
So
I
if
mean,
inside it's less heavily.
if we,
Like,
I mean, the main thing about the news crew would be having enough having enough like the fact that if they
what
got,
does the news crew have to do with this?
let me finish my statement, man. I'm massaging an idea. The news crew I was
Boy.
thinking about was something so that if they knew there was public scrutiny on them while this was happening, they would lay off the immediate, heavy guns, going a little bit too heavy-handed because they don't want to look bad for the media. But if not, we can leave that as. But that's
I
just
mean,
an
that's
idea.
the thing, isn't it? If we get a mob up here, are they gonna start shooting immediately, or are they just gonna take it as, a protest and try and get them to back off?
But the also thing is, how much do they think that anything that's done against them is imperial infiltration type thing? I'm sure.
mhm.
Well, I mean, the thing is, if we just get people up here to start rabble rousing against them, that doesn't immediately set off any major warning bells. I don't
Well,
think.
if these are the same people from the back when we did the gang run on them, they probably think most likely that that anything that's done in opposition is just Imperium spooks coming after them. Like what level of conspiracy theorists are we working on here?
I mean, they're not wrong, but
Did they
Yeah,
even
well,
know we were actually Imperials?
that they're working. Well, the main thing being is that their main top brass probably does have an idea that there probably would be some opposition to Imperial opposition to what they're planning on doing, because that's who they're opposing in the first place.
yeah, but do they know we're Imperials? Because is a good chunk
Yeah,
of the populace
like,
who's with the Imperium at this point.
If you remember, though, like,
Mhm.
we went in as a gang and got ourselves arrested by the Imperials for
Yes.
knocking over their base. Are they? Do they suspect? Because
I mean, I'm sure. I'm not putting it
We don't
against
know.
someone. We don't know, but I'm not putting it out of the idea that that if they have it's sufficient enough paranoia, it doesn't really matter if they what they believe is true or not. If they're looking for Imperials around
yeah,
any
what I'm
bed
saying
corner,
is, are they that paranoid though? Like,
It's a good question.
or that's always the question. But for right now, we have an idea of the outside and a bit of the idea for the inside.
I mean, there's windows, but I don't know if we actually have a decent idea of, oh, that's the barracks, that's the armory. I don't.
No, because
Well-
they would have reused the area, so you'd have to assume that like they've just grabbed buildings and put stuff together.
I take it I can't be cheeky and say I've got magnoculars and try and snoop on the windows from a long distance.
No,
See
there
if I
won't
can
be
see
enough
the
to
traps
see
and
through.
stuff going in.
Trying to see
Yeah,
through a
that's
window
fair.
at distance is hard.
They probably got the
Yep.
windows barricaded anyway.
Windows are one
Trying
of
to
those
see if
weird
there's any-
things that don't work after a certain distance. They just become shiny.
Yeah, fair.
Well, the main question being then that if we can get close enough to deploy a servo skill to look through, you can find a place that's not as a lapse, because this could be a long-term surveillance. If you can see, you can find your opening.
Actually, yeah, that's a good point. We could stick around for a while, out of sight, obviously, but stick around for a while, get an idea of like their rotations and stuff.
Yep, it's a good call.
Yeah. They seem to be following
Alright.
Yeah. I was happy to let you do that. Time's not exactly of a you have got a kind of like get this done soon, but you've got like maybe a day or so you can spend a few hours watching for that. Well,
We have to have this done we have to have this done within the day. Yikes!
Well, they want this open and transmitting. They want to get going. Orcs are attacking. They can't hang around.
They have to leave now, or they'll never arrive by last week.
Or 5 years from now when the planet's all orky.
Exactly.
Yeah, with the Imperium, it's hurry up and hope you arrive before it all goes horribly wrong.
Mhm.
The sooner they
Wait.
get these supplies, the sooner they can get to that planet to avenge the people who died.
Wait a second.
Yes.
Wait a second. Give me a second. I just had a thought. What if the person who brought the supply ship in is actually just running a con and no one's noticed it yet?
Nah.
All right.
Somebody would have
So
noticed
anyway, we've got a general idea of their patrol schedule.
Yep.
And routes and stuff.
Hmm.
Is there anything else we need to look out for, y'all think?
Well, I was usually
Actually-
attempt to get the servo scope close enough to look inside.
Are there any obvious blind spots?
They're pretty much a straight line through. The blind spots would probably be if you were in this bit here, you wouldn't be able to see very well past this bit too
I more
soon.
meant in like their patrol routes, but
No, because it's pretty much building, and then they've just got to cover this drain line.
that's true, yeah.
It's very well defended.
It's almost
I mean,
like it
it's-
was built for this.
I know, it's almost like someone built the entrance to their city so it can be locked down. There are some heavy gates, but they don't seem to be able to shut them.
Well, that's small mercies, I guess.
Does anyone have
Although, if we could figure out how to close those, we could trap them.
does anyone have any navigation hive?
I think that's just urban.
Well, hive is one of the things on the list.
Oh, is it?
Yes, because you could always see. There's always as a Federate hive runner, there is always there's always somewhere a ventilation shaft you can stuff something down. Or a maintenance hatch or something.
You know, I just had an even dumber thought.
Mm.
They're stopping anything from getting into they're not letting trains stop, obviously, or they're not letting trains in to begin with. How sturdy do we think these sandbag walls they built are?
They're sandbags, so not exactly that.
And how much farther into the hive do these tracks run?
Quite a way. They kind of move into like a bigger loading dock further in.
You know, I have piloting at 40.
Yep.
Yes.
So
Choo.
That
Planned runaway train is go.
We
Yeah, we
could
would need to-
always just send in a little party starter.
that would be a hell of a way of doing it. Yeah.
The best part is it doesn't even need to have like a payload or anything. I can just send that thing full tilt through their lines.
well, the main
Yep.
thing is we don't really technically want to be destroying the gate as well. That would probably not be
Well, they haven't managed to close the gate, is the thing.
Yes,
Mhm.
but we want to use, but we, the Imperial, we want to use the gate after it's done. So causing damage to it might be frowned upon by our
they
Gruntler's
haven't
overhead.
closed it. The tracks are not being blocked by it. That's why they need the sandbags.
Yes.
Actually,
I like this plan.
Great. Where are those auto gun emplacements on the tracks, or are they elevated?
They'd be kind of like here.
They'd have to be close to beyond on the tracks if they're going to be covering entrance
Yeah.
to the buildings. To the depot, rather. So
Oh,
they're behind the sandbags?
Yeah.
In positions where if a train were to hit the sandbags, they would be hit by flying sandbag?
Yes.
or potentially just run over by the train.
If not, if not the train itself, exactly.
Oh.
Yes.
We don't even need a whole train. We just need an engine, really.
Better make it 2 engines. Have one for backup.
Well, yeah, one for top, one for bottom.
Okay, so
Who wants to hijack a train?
Yeah.
All right, the main question with this being though, as much as I would love hijacking a train, still have to have that local cover though. Remember?
I mean, I was just gonna sabotage it and make it run through look like an accident.
I was going to get an engineer
Yeah.
hat and say, "Stop me at my job? No way."
That's also a good point. We could front as the local. What's the term? Teamsters, I guess.
Train conductors.
I mean, we can also just look like local police as well.
We could front as the local Teamsters pissed off that they're cutting into our business.
Yeah.
Open the train shaft. This is
Like
not an
that.
authorized strike. Hit them with a train.
Yes. That is exactly how that would go down.
You know what? I don't want to. You know what? I don't want to break my brain or loop myself into hoops trying to keep the idea of trying to maintain the idea of not OPSEC, the other thing around trying to maintain the cover for this one.
Discipline?
So you know what?
The thing is,
Sounds fun.
you're assuming that violence of any sort will break that cover. It's the problem, I think.
I'm fully a-okay for the violence thing. It's just that just having to establish the cover in the first place is a difficult part here because being the
I mean,
having
I'm not
enough.
gonna run the train through them right now. I was gonna wait for, our plan to actually be settled before I pulled the trigger on that.
Except that we
need to
we
acquire
own the
said-
news.
We need to acquire said train in the first place. I understand we own the news, but the main thing being is not like we need to at least have some plausible level of
Possibility.
That's
Of
why
input.
we're recruiting locals.
we haven't got to that part yet, have we?
You're the one who's recruiting.
We come to the standard plan. They come up with the crazy plan stage. Everything
Yeah.
after this will be justifying the crazy plan.
Discard.
Exactly.
You're complaining that we haven't gotten local help yet. That's your department.
Cover
My department is figuring out how we're actually going to run them over once we have.
Well, literally. Well, with
Well,
train,
yes,
that'd be quite
now
literal.
literally. But yeah. So
I mean,
we know
Sorry,
roughly
no, I was
their composition. We know a very glaring weakness now in their defensive line.
And in fairness, if you have one delivery system for a bunch of happy rabble rousers, putting a passenger carriage, maybe a few empty carriages back from the engine, will do the job.
True.
They'd be far enough back from the engine to not be destroyed in the crash, and they can hop off the carriage and get to work, having been delivered to the very disrupted base.
I'm liking how this plan is shaping up.
Anyway,
I'm glad
good
I
plan.
thought of that because that's the level of what the fuck that I love about these games is just
Hit them with a train.
All right.
There is something to be said for sometimes comedy.
I think it's probably a
we're
good place to
going
call
all
it.
this trouble to be like, oh, how are we gonna, distract these auto guns or whatever? And I'm just like, hang on, they're on the train.
It's a train station. Yeah.
We need to work
They're
on
on the train tracks, and this is not a small station. This is a station that serves the entire continent. Like,
I mean, in fairness, we already managed to nearly destroy one train very early on. Why not?
Hey, we were not involved in destroying of that train.
No. We were close to being involved with it. Sorry, yes, I talked over Gray, I think, at one point there.
Yeah, I was just saying it's probably about a good time to wrap that up. You can come up with some
Very
evil
well.
plans.
Sounds fair.
We'll do more thinking over the week.
You say that, you won't.
I will try.
I'll think. I just won't share any of my findings with the rest of you.
You'll
Yeah,
think.
fair.
All right.
Sorry, I stepped away. What did I miss?
We're just wrapping up.
We're just
Ah,
Yep.
okay.
All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time.
later.
Hopefully next time isn't in a month.
Yeah.
Yes.